Welcome back to this World of Warcraft Let's Play. You're Sambo, and joining us, as always, is Seraphis, our level 43 Worgen Mage. G'day, Seraphis.
The beast in me hungers.
The beast in you hungers, the beast in us hungers too here on Theramore Isle. It's great to see you guys. And you know what? We've had so many replies from last week's... Hello, Merkalot. Oh dear. Merkalot has fallen over. So many replies from last week's episode where we had, of course, Seraphis, our other Seraphis, the little Pandaren monk, and her choice as to whether to go to the Horde or the Alliance. Now, keep those votes coming in, folks. The more that you vote, the more chance you've got of getting what you wanted. And I've got to say, at the moment, it looks like she's going to be heading over to the Alliance. That's right, big surprise there. A lot of for the Horde over there, but more Alliance folk than there are Horde. So she's going to be sent off to see Varian Wren unless you guys do something about it. But you know what? We're not here to talk about Seraphis the Pandaren monk. We're here to have a look at Seraphis the Worgen Mage and our crazy Merkalot here. What do we got on the menu tonight? You can see we've got a few things over here. On Theramore Isle, we're currently in Theramore itself, and you can see right beside us here, we've got this quest called And Bugs, and you can see here that we've got to go and get these 12 Pristine Crawler Legs to Morgenstern in Theramore. And back in the old days, it used to be a real pain in the bum to get these. Now I think it's a lot easier, so hopefully we'll chew through these ones today, and then we may even head over into the Quagmire there, the famous Quagmire here in Dustwallow Marsh, to speak with the even more famous Tabetha. And you know what, if you were ever a mage back in the day, it was a big event to come over here and speak to her, let alone find her if you could, because of course you didn't have quest markers like this back in the old days. Back when I started playing, you used to literally have to scour the zone to try and find her, or speak to someone who knew where she was. It was a lot different back then, let me tell you that. But for now, we're going to go and see if we can find some of these pristine crawlers. Now I think the best thing to do is to head out the back gate here, and you can see the beautiful full moon off in the distance there. It is a gorgeous looking game, of course, and what we're talking about is the beach over to the side here, and I'm pretty sure that we can, yeah, is that them over there? A spiny rock crab. That is the one that we want, and I think they're also, if I remember, I'm pretty sure they were down here as well. And oh, what is he doing? Seriously, Merkalot, you're embarrassing me. Now, what we need to do is head over there, actually. So we probably could have taken a sharp right off the bridge, but that's okay. Go around the front here. Let's get off my mount and make sure that I have got things on like my molten armor. And of course, I always forget stuff like that. Molten armor has changed quite a lot. If you haven't played WoW for a while, you can see here that it is, good lord, Merkalot is very noisy this evening. The beautiful full moon in the background. Look at that, she's got little, he's got little, he's doing it again. You are an idiot this evening. Look at that, there we go, the little Tweety birds and symbols over his head. Good lord, it must be the full moon if you ask me. You can see here, Molten Armor now is a spell critical strike increase, and that's by 5%, but it also means that your physical damage taken is reduced by 6%. Now, you have no cooldown on these. In the old days, you could only have them up for an hour. Now they just stay up until you put a different type of armor on. It's really, really different to what it used to be like. So you never have to worry about it. In other words, you don't have to refresh it all the time. The other thing we've got up there is the rallying cry of the Dragon Slayer, and we got that back in Stormwind. Increases crit strike and grants additional melee attack power for 2 hours, and that's because somebody killed the dragon. 10 internet points if you can tell me which dragon that was. Go on.
Great.
I'm sure you guys have been playing WoW for a long time now. Look at that, isn't that a beautiful sight there? In fact, let's get a bit of a screenshot there. There we go, screen captured. I love this game still, and I love this zone. Let's see if we can take down these spiny rock crabs, and in fact they look a lot different from the old crawlers back in the day. You can see it's actually a different model now. What we're going to do is get right back, of course, and see if we can throw off one of these frostfire bolts. There's another player. Hello there, Absakis, whoever you are, hello. And of course I've got my Frostfire Bolt now, and you can see they look a lot different too. The spell effects have changed a lot actually here on the old mage since the last time we played in the series. There we go. And in fact, I'll see if I can get some real distance. There's one of the legs there, 1 out of 12, and you can see that it's a lot better than it used to be back in the day. Again, those would drop about 1 in every 5 or 6. It was terrible. Now, this is the Frost Fire Bolt. So it launches a bolt of frost fire at the enemy, causing 435 frost fire damage, but it also slows the target by 40% for 8 seconds. So it's, instead of having to cast Firebolt and the old Ice Bolt, or whatever it was called, Frost Bolt I think it was, now they're combined into the same one. And of course we are Arcane Spec, you guys must remember that, and that means that we're going to try and use the Arcane Blast here as well to get that Arcane Charge up, because that comes in really handy for extra damage later on with the other spells that we're going to be using. But let's see if we can take down this guy. Of course we're slowing him there, you can see that snared came up. And there you go, you can see the arcane missiles there. You can actually see the missiles firing now, which is a big difference to what it used to be like. Let's put up my temporal shield. We've got temporal ripples there as well, and that means that I'll be healed back all damage, which is really, really handy. So I don't mind being hit while that shield is up, actually. It's kind of cool. But you can see these guys here are actually level 35, but they're still taking one hell of a beating. It's actually very interesting. We should be able to get that one from way back here. This has one hell of a distance on it, which is great. Now let's use this Arcane Blast to bring up the old Arcane Charges, and you can see them up here. There's 3 of them there. And now I can use things like Arcane Missiles, and they will have a whole bunch of damage to them, and there we go. So the more I spam these, and the greater that this becomes here. There we go. Increases the number of targets hit by Arcane Barrage, increases the mana cost of Arcane Blast by a lot as well. But the trade-off there is we get that increased damage, and that's exactly what I want as a mage. I don't mind being a glass cannon, if you know what I mean. Alright, let's see if we can do the same thing. And wait, once again, we've got the big advantage here of distance. That's why we love being a mage with this. There we go. The Arcane Blast has got those stacks right up. And finish off with a little fire spell there. The instant, the Fire Blast, and I love that one. And that means we can, because it is an instant, of course, we can use that while we're running around, which is really, really neat. Let's see if we can get this guy down the bottom here. And hopefully, oh, there the Arcane Missiles go. There's Mercolot once again. I don't know what's going on with him. He certainly seems to, let's use the Frost Nova, certainly seems to want to be in a playful mood tonight, which is kind of cool, I suppose. And there we go, the Frost Nova, allowing us to wind up another Arcane Blast. And once again, I'll use that Temporal Shield.
We need to target something first.
Yes, you do. Now, another thing that I have completely forgotten to do, and it's terrible of me because I haven't played this mage for some time, and that, of course, is to conjure myself some refreshments. Now, I'm a mage, that means I get free food, and there it is, drop down into my hotbar, means I get myself a conjured mana cookie, and that restores 1860 health and about 1500 mana over 30 seconds. So very, very handy, and of course, the cool thing is it's 100% free, and there's another screenshot right there, if you ask me. Beautiful sight in the background there with the full moon. Don't you just love it? All right, time for us to carry on with this quest now. I should be able to pick this guy off from way back here. It's got a huge 40-yard range, Frostfire Bolt, and once again we really need to be using that to our advantage wherever possible. And then right at the end here I'm going to spam the Arcane Missiles, which should do a whole chunk of damage times twice. And like I say, it's really weird, you can actually see them there firing off. You never used to see them with such clarity back in the old days, and they've changed the spell effects now, and hey, I'm a big fan. There we go. We are still not even 40 yards away. How far away can we get? We're going to have to test that with the next one, I think. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, go for it, Mercolot, you and your crazy shenanigans. There we go, finish them off. Yeah, definitely once we've got 3 Arcane Blasts up and those stacks there, increases the damage of Arcane Blast, Arcane Missiles and Arcane Barrage by 200% when I had 4 or 3, I think it was actually, stacks up there, which is very cool. Right, there we go, we target him, and again, the way that we find out what the range is you can see down here, my number 2 ability is Frost Fire Bolt. If I start running away, I want to stop when that hits red. There we go, it's all the way to there. That's, and in fact, I can't even see it. That's how far away we are. He snuck around the corner there, so I could actually get further away than that. It is just unbelievable, isn't it? It's such a great range. I love it. In fact, same with the Arcane Blast as well. Has a 40-yard range, which is fantastic. Let's see if we can pull off 3 of these Arcane Blasts, and then we're easily going to finish them off with the Arcane Missiles, because they are stacked up to 200% damage there. because we stack that up by firing off Arcane Blast. So you can see how Arcane works. In fact, we're just too far, we're just out of the range. There it is. In we go, opening with the Frostfire, and again, the reason I'm doing that is to snare them. Shut up, Mercolot, seriously. Is to snare them and slow down their speed. See if we can get 3 Arcane Blasts off by the looks of things. It's not going to give me an Arcane Missile this time, which is a bit of a shame. Let's make sure we cast our Temporal Shield there, and then finish them off with the good old Arcane Explosion. And once again, if you're wondering about this Temporal Shield, it is relatively new on this character here. Envelops you in a Temporal Shield, and that lasts for about 4 seconds. It's not very long at all, but the great thing about it is that it does reduce all damage taken by a little bit, 15%, but 100% of all the damage that we take while we're shielded, not just the shielded damage, so not the 15%, but all of the damage there is actually returned back to us over 6 seconds. So it's actually a heal, and it's really cool. And the extra little kicker for this one is that the spell is usable while stunned, frozen, incapacitated, feared, or asleep, and the best thing is that it is actually not on the global cooldown. So there we go. Yes, it is a great job. It's a big long tooltip, I know, sorry about that, but it is actually really, really handy. And the cool thing is that it's only got a 25-second cooldown, so it's not like a 3-minute job. It's not like a big long cooldown. So use it a lot if you've got this one. And we'll just kill off this guy first. Using our Arcane Missiles, we've got the Ice Lance there, which of course is a massive damage dealer there. There we go. And we're slowly counting up, by the way, our Crawler Legs. We got to 10 out of 12 there. We'll be finishing this quest before we know it. And by the way, there's the little lighthouse out in the distance where we helped Babs, I think her name was. But if you're wondering where I got this Temporal Shield from, and perhaps you're a mage and you're thinking, hang on a minute, I don't have that ability myself, it's because it's here. That's right, it is in the talents, and I chose that over Flame Glow and over Ice Barrier, and I much prefer a little bit of a top-up heal. I think that's really, really handy when you are a glass cannon like we are with this mage here. Lots and lots of fun though. Loving the mage. It's so great to be back on Seraphis, and in fact it's great to be back on all of our characters here in WoW. And of course I'm talking about Yogurt, our Goblin Shaman, and of course the Pandaren Monk, the other Seraphis in the series. There we go, 11 out of 12, we're nearly done, and that is going to be a really exciting episode when we come back to her, by the way, because of course it's going to be Horde or Alliance, and that is all up to you guys. So once again, make sure you go and vote on the comments of that video there, and you will decide her future fate. It's all up to you guys. Now, getting some good XP off these guys. There we go, 12 out of 12. We're all done. Let's mount up onto my Winged Guardian from the cash shop there. Let's see if we can run back. And I'm pretty sure that the hand in here is inside the inn, if I remember correctly. Gosh, this game looks fantastic. You know, we are in our 9th year. 9 years for an MMO. Almost unheard of, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. Which means next year, of course, it's the mighty 10th year. 10 years. Who would have ever thought that any game, let alone a MMO, would be around for 10 years? That is absolutely amazing, and we love it. Now, it's not the inn, sorry. It looks like it's inside the garrison that we need to go. You can see there we go, Morgenstern is somewhere in here. I honestly don't remember, because it's been such a long time since we picked up this quest. Oh, there he is. He's right at the bottom.
You need something?
Of the stairs. Yes, we do need something. And Bugs, my research with the Mudrock tongues is progressing nicely. Now, you might remember back in the day we actually had to pick up those tongues, and yeah, that was a bit of a grind as well. I think that's changed now as well, but there we go. I trust your crab hunt goes well. You better believe it. We've got them for you. Cheer, you should indeed. These are wonderful specimens, Seraphis. The shells are in perfect condition, and the meat is pink and tender. The blood of a chef is in your veins, I am sure of it. And look at this, we get ourselves a crawling wand. It's not as good as the staff we've got, of course, so we're going to take the Baroque shield there so that I remember to sell it, and that'll be nice and easy. Look at that, 2,100 XP we got out of that. That is definitely worthwhile, and you can see we are currently about, what are we, about 55% of the way through level 43, so we are slowly getting there. In fact, I saw a vendor there. Let's just hop into Dwayne Wordle. Hello. and we'll get rid of our junk, and we'll get rid of that Baroque shield, and we'll also get rid of the crawler claws, can't say that very well, and the crawler meat. You know, I can't be bothered going to the auction house for that, and that's okay because you can see here, have a good one too, we got 1,199 gold on this character, and a lot of you guys asked me, hey, how come you got so much gold on this little level 43, and it is literally just from using the auction house. It's that simple, just gaming the old system there. Alright, so what we're going to do now, I noticed that we're running a little bit low of time. I really thought that Pristine Crawler one would have taken a lot less time, but that's okay. What we're going to do is look at the map, and we're going to head on out to Tabetha's farm. Now again, back in the day, this was something that you'd have to navigate all on your lonesome, and you know what, I've got mixed feelings about it. I mean, back in the day, it was definitely a little bit frustrating, but when you did come across your destination, listen to that grandiose music, the amazing scenes and sights and sounds here of Dustwallow Bay. We love this game so much. It was really rewarding because even though it was a little bit frustrating, and by the way, this was never here. The Alliance have constructed this road. It was never here back in the day. You used to have to go the long way across there, across that water, and get chewed up by the crabs in there. Gosh, that was terrible. But now we've got this. It's all easy mode, of course, and you know what, I don't mind. But yeah, back in the day, you'd have to find it, and when you did, it was super satisfying. So even though it may have been just a little bit frustrating, it was really amazing once you actually found your goal. Now, can you hear that music in the background? Seriously, it is just not this one. This is the wreck, of course. This is Beazel's wreck. And there's a whole bunch of yep, there we go. There's the famous slimes from Dustwallow Marsh there. Listen to that though. That is the famous Dustwallow Marsh music. Oh, listen to it. This brings back so many memories, folks. There are the machines there, the swamp oozers, and the dry wallow daggermores. Look at them. I don't know how many times you guys have been in here. I've been in here way too many times, but I never, ever, ever get sick of it. This place never gets old. I love it. There's something classic about the Quagmire. Here we are in the Quagmire, and the sounds, the music, the mobs, the atmosphere. Listen to it. And do you remember this moment, folks? Do you remember coming over this hill and going, oh my god, it's Tabetha's farm? And of course, back in the day, you didn't have this. In fact, if I turn off the quest tracking there, this is what it used to look like. Just this. So you'd have to run around and you'd have no idea except for the description, and you'd go by this. It'd be like, deep in the heart of the swamp lives an old woman named Tabetha. We've never known much about her, save that she's a good deal older than she appears. She's helped us from time to time and helped keep the peace here between the Horde and our forces. She used to keep in regular contact, but we haven't received one lately. Could you check in with her when you have time? Just follow the road beyond the North Point Tower where it turns south into the Quagmire, and you can see her farm from the road. And we have to speak with Tabetha at her farm in the Quagmire, and that's all you'd have. So of course you'd have to run along the road up here and try and run all the way down in here and figure out where in this red hot mess here, this brown hot mess I guess, she would be. And I don't know, there's part of me that still wishes it was like that, but of course you can do this. You can turn off the objectives and you're back in the old days, so you don't have to have it. But that is it, folks. Now Tabetha, by the way, does have a bit of a legacy in this game, and I'm not going to spoil the plot. There's Apprentice Morlan. Here's a repairer. Let's get off our mount, and Regina Salister, not Regina J. Lacerda, repair all of our items. There we go. You can see out the front here. That's right. Look at that. It is Andello Porter from SI7. The plot thickens. We've got a marsh here with all of the crocodiles, and of course you can hear the crickets in the background, but there she is. That is the lady herself. And of course, if you've played through here, this little field to the side will ring many bells. And look at this. We've also got Apprentice Gary in there. This is very, very classic. This is ultra vanilla stuff here. Tabetha the Mage here at the Quagmire in Dustwallow Marsh. And folks, that's where we're going to leave it, on a cliffhanger. Certainly hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Certainly hope you'll join us in the next one when we do uncover more of the mysteries of this old woman named Tabetha. In the meantime, on behalf of myself, Sambonz, Seraphis the Worgen Mage, and our little Mercolot here, it's us saying take care. Hope you guys are having a great week wherever you are in the world. We do look forward to seeing you next time. We'll see you then, and bye-bye.